Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. And just to give you an idea of how the session will go today, what I've displayed currently is just the agenda, so you can get an idea of the items that we will cover. We'll kick off with welcome and introductions, a full program overview, which will include tuition and other frequently asked questions. For those of you that want more information about how you might be able to utilize the credits towards a Master of Education degree, we'll talk about that. How best to enroll if you're ready to enroll as early as our spring start. And then both professors are here today and they will share detailed information about each course, both HRD 411 as well as HRD 472. And then as always, if you have additional questions, you are welcome to send them to the email displayed below. And I'll also share this information at the end of the session today. And in the chat, you are more than welcome to leave questions. And if you take a look at the menu bar, right where your mute button is, you'll also notice a Q&A button. You can also feel free to use that, and either myself or one of the panelists will be able to respond to you. So let me just do one last check of our chat to make sure we're ready. And we do have a few people joining, but we'll go ahead and get started. And one question that I did receive via email, yes, this session will be recorded and we will share it with everyone after the session. So today, those of us present here at the College of Education will be Dr. Denise Hood, myself, I am Myla Fuller. You'll also get to hear later from Dr. Wenhao Huang, as well as Dr. Eunjung Grace. So what exactly is the MasterTrack certificate program? So I know just based on the interactions that I've had with many of you, you've had a chance to take a look at the information on our website. But just, when you think about the overall program, we're thinking about what you can take away from it. So we're looking at, an ability for you to be able to conduct in-depth learner analysis, as you're preparing to do instructional design, as well as exploring the different methods related to learning assessments and evaluations. In addition, throughout both courses, you'll learn strategies for using cutting-edge technologies, and we'll be modeling this, and you'll have an opportunity to actually engage with these tools to develop projects. And then one of the key components is really how to make data-informed decisions so that you can improve the various programs that you'll be working on either now or for those of you that are looking for future work in instructional design. So when we're looking at the MasterTrack program, I just wanted to introduce our lead professors, and you will have a chance to hear from both of them today. But as most of you know, because I had a chance to speak to you when we kicked off this program last year, they have really been instrumental in developing the curricula. And for the upcoming courses that are running, they're both also teaching the courses. So it's really a pleasure to have them join us today. And just know that if you have any content questions related to each course, these are the individuals that will be able to help us out. And they will also be available to respond to chat questions as they come up. Please note at the end of the session, we will dedicate time to open it up for Q&A. And so some of you who are joining via phone or your computer's audio, you'll be able to also ask questions. So in a nutshell, when we look at the MasterTrack certificate program, it includes 2 courses. Each course, you can receive 4 graduate credits for each course. And if you decide that you are interested in our Master of Education program, many of our programs will accept these 2 courses. But when you look at the MasterTrack certificate, one question I've been asked is if I only take 1 course, would I still qualify for it? And no, you do need to successfully complete both courses. Another common question is, do you have to take one right after the other? So when you sign up for the program, and if you look at the website, we currently have the upcoming courses that you can select from. You can choose when you take them, but at the current moment, we do recommend that you start with HRD 411 and then move to 472. The next offering of 411 will be offered in the spring starting mid-March. Right now, the program takes about 4 to 5 months, not minutes, 4 to 5 months to complete. Each course is about 8 weeks each, and they both include hands-on projects as well as weekly synchronous sessions, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And the big piece is that in terms of the tuition, I'll have to explain the breakdown, but it is $2,316. And this is a special rate for those of you that are new to the University of Illinois. One requirement for the program is you must have a bachelor's degree. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, I might suggest that you consider one of the MOOC versions that does not come with credit, and it is slightly different. So if you want more information on that, you can just send me an email. But for those of you that are pursuing the full MasterTrack certificate program with credit hours at the graduate level, you will need a bachelor's degree. I shared the tuition amount, about 4 to 5 months to complete. You will earn degree credit, but you can only use it towards our master's program if you've successfully completed it and upon admission to the university. So you will have to formally apply. Each course has weekly live sync sessions. These are done over video using similar software that we're using today. And what we're doing with these, you will be required to attend the very first 2 sessions so that you can learn more about the program, as well as there will be some groupings because there will be group work, and then you'll learn more about the hands-on projects. After that, with the live sync sessions, they will still continue to occur, and we highly encourage you to attend, but if you can't, they will be recorded and archived, and it will be required that you view them for successful completion. So for the tuition and fees, right now, the way that breaks down, each course under the special rate is $1,000 per course. You pay that within the semester that you register. So a common question is, can I just pay the full amount to the university? And the answer is no. So you do have to pay per course. And then please note that each course includes a fee paid to Coursera of $158 per course. And that's paid at the time in which you begin to interact in the course space. So if you take a course in the spring, you'll have to pay the first tuition during the spring semester. And then if you register for a summer session, then you would be paying in that session. I did provide details of when the payment is due, but please note, as soon as you enroll in the program, you automatically will have a student bill that you can log on to and check for when your tuition is due. And again, I'll dedicate some time at the end if you all have more detailed questions regarding the tuition and fees. There is a website if you're interested in any type of payment plan for the tuition portion. And so the links will be provided here in the presentation. And again, for those of you who are just joining, we will follow up and provide a recording of this. So you'll have these links. But if you are interested in a payment plan, I suggest that you visit this site so you can learn more about how to set it up, as well as how to access your tuition bill. We wanted to share just the breakdown of the courses. Now, when we say the 4 to 5 months to complete, we recognize that each course is about 8 weeks each. However, you'll also have that time to submit your final project. So it really depends on your planning and how soon you turn those components in, but you'll hear a little bit more about that when our professors speak. For 411 in the spring, we definitely know that the weekly live video sessions will occur on Thursday evenings. And then for 472, the one that follows in the summer, they have confirmed that that session will happen on a Tuesday. And these courses, just for this particular semester and then the summer semester, they have a little bit of an overlap. So that's why we've shifted one to Tuesday. But for those of you that are planning to take this in the fall, we will likely return to Thursday evenings only. And again, for those that just joined, the requirement is that you attend the very first 2 weekly live sessions. After that, they are, we strongly suggest that you attend, but if you can't, we will make recordings available. And there will be small group work. We're very excited about the weekly sync sessions, and one of the reasons we do it, we understand that it does help with retention, and it also gives you an opportunity to interact with your professors as well as your peers, not just synchronously online, but also face-to-face, and you can actually verbally interact. They also do really good projects where you can work in small groups right in the same infrastructure that we're working on now. It's also a great time to have an opportunity to meet with the professors if you have questions. And each of the classes also have teaching assistants. So we do take pride in making sure that you have adequate support. So the weekly sessions happen in the evenings, typically from 6 to 8. If that should change, you would get that communication from your course professors. I've mentioned before, which it really is a frequently asked question, that the first 2 sessions are required, but participation in all other class sessions is really highly recommended. And the purpose for this is really for that interaction, and it really enriches the learning experiences. And I think it's also fantastic that you have that opportunity to ask questions point in time. So for the degree credit, just a reminder, for each course that you take, it will accrue 4 graduate credit hours. That equals a total of 8, which you can then apply towards one of our master's programs. One program would be our Human Resource Development program, which is the main program that the 2 courses come from, but there'll be also other programs that you can select from. Just as a reminder, our Master of Education program, it also is online, and it includes 8 courses. So this really helps you move along. These are the programs that will accept the credit from the MasterTrack. So if you have an interest in diversity and equity in education, global studies, international education, administration, and leadership, human resource development, or learning design and leadership, you have 5 options to choose from in terms of a concentration. If you do choose to go this route, you will have a Master's of Education in Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership with a concentration in the areas listed below. Within each of these areas, there's also areas of study. So I will encourage you to, check out the live links when you receive a copy of the presentation. This is also on our website, so you can learn more about the programs. I did want to remind everyone, if you know already that you are interested in applying for the Master of Education, you want to do that after you complete your 2nd course. If not, the concern would be the special rate. The special rate right now, $23.16, is only available for first-time students to the university. All other students would be at their regular tuition assessment rate. Enrolling in the program is really easy. It's literally just a few clicks. So you would simply go to our non-degree page, click on the academic credit registration form, and again, that link will be provided for you. After you create a login and password, we do recommend you read the policy so you can understand what hitting that enroll button means. But the big piece is that you are now committed to the tuition. So once you hit that enroll button after selecting the course, you will automatically be set up with a student bill. Now, if you change your mind, you will be required to complete the formal forms to withdraw or cancel your registration. If you don't do that, you will be a part of the university's billing cycle. So just remember, as soon as you enroll, you automatically become a part of the university, and we begin to prepare to send you information related to an email address to get you set up in the course platform. If you should change your mind, you will be required to formally withdraw or cancel your registration. And at this time, you will not need to pay any fees or tuition after this enrollment process. That comes later. So for those of you that just joined, I shared a slide earlier that talks about when the university will bill your account. So once that happens, you'll have an opportunity to pay that bill. So we're going to get ready to shift to the content portion, where you'll begin to learn more about each of the courses. So as a reminder, the MasterTrack includes 2 courses, HRD 411 and then HRD 472. The course professor, Dr. O, has joined us today, and she'll share a little bit more about her background and then specifically more information about what you learn in 411 and the projects. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. O.
Thank you, Dr. Fuller. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eunjung Grace. I'm here, faculty at the Department of Education Policy, Organization, and Leadership at the University of Illinois. As you can see from this slide, my expertise in the intersection of learning, design, and technology in adult learning and also HRD contexts. Here in the HRD program at University of Illinois, I teach courses such as instructional and training system design, e-learning related courses, learning technologies, adult and professional education, and program evaluation, and so forth. Next slide, please. So with regard to HRD 411, MTC, instructional and training systems design. So I've been teaching this particular course, HRD 411, for many years, and I have a strong passion on this content area because I believe that good instructional designers can really create a meaningful learning and development opportunities that are relevant to individuals as well as organizational performance improvement. So that's what the course will really help each of the students to become a good instructional designers with a relevant skill sets. Next slide, please. So this particular slide kind of talks about the content structure as well as kind of overview of the assignments. So as you can see on the right side of the slide, the figure kind of illustrates the course content. So during the course, students, going back please, during the course, the students will learn at the bottom of the figure the conceptual and theoretical foundations of instructional design. And as you can see on the inner circle, there are 4 different processes starting from analyze, design, development, implement, and evaluation. So students will also learn the details of this particular instructional design process. So at the end of the course, the goal of the course is the students will be able to design an optimal instructional solution to learning and performance challenges that their target learners experience. Next slide, please. So there are 3 major projects that help you to achieve the goal that I have mentioned in an earlier slide. So if you enroll the course, you will first learn how to conduct an instructional design project. And the second, from the case study, you will learn then how to think like an instructional designer. And then the last one is e-portfolio development. And basically throughout these 2 courses, 411 and 472, you'll be developing your e-portfolio to really present and demonstrate your instructional design knowledge, skills, through various artifacts that you have developed in those 2 courses, along with your reflection. Next slide, please. So once again, so those are the assignments. And I will talk about the first two assignments in detail here. So the first one, as I mentioned, is the instructional design project. In this particular project, the students will going to work with their group members to complete an instructional design project. And using an instructional design model and following the model, the students will design and actually develop an instructional intervention for meeting their target audience's learning and performance needs. And instructional design, it's a complicated, complex process. It includes a number of phases from various analysis to evaluation. So with number of scaffoldings that we plan in the course, the students will learn how to conduct and complete various activities during the instructional design process. Next slide, please. And then the second project, there are 4 design case studies on instructional design that we will be discussing in the live sessions. Each case study includes a case scenario that is related to one of the instructional design phase. As you can see from the slide, the analysis related activity, design, implementation, and evaluation. So we will be discussing different case scenarios and what kind of action plan an instructional designer can come up with for each of the case study. So we'll have in-depth, discussion on these cases during the live sessions throughout the course. So I think that, and then now I'm going to introduce my colleague, Dr. Wenhao David Huang, and he's going to talk about 472 learning technologies.
Okay, I assume that you can still hear me okay. I'm going to talk about the second course in the MTC certificate, HRD 472. That's a wrong number on my slide, learning technologies. You can read through about my research since University of Illinois is a research one institution. That's what we do. We also teach, of course. But my research interests are mostly focused on motivation and engagement in different types of learning environments. Appropriate for the course would be, we are talking about technologies enabled and enriched learning environments enabled and enriched by technologies. The course will take the advantage of your professional experience, and as most of you might be adult learners. You're working, you have your professional obligations, you have some years of experiences in terms of practicing certain instructional design models, processes Dr. O mentioned earlier, and also you probably have worked with some technological applications and implementations when it comes to learning and development related activities. So your experiences will definitely add values to the course I have designed for you. For adult learners in many cases. So the course is hands-on in terms of students in the current cohort. I can share with you a little bit. They are reflecting on what they are reading in the course, their discussions they're doing in the course with their prior experience and current experiences in the workplace. Oh, I'm designing this onboarding training with a multimedia application, for instance. I can really relate to certain principles and theories and models HRD 472 is discussing. So I think that's the most rewarding part of the course from my perspective as the instructor, as a professor, and students are able to make those connections to improve and inform their practice with theoretical groundings, with design models, and with empirical studies. So I think that's the very important part of the course I like to emphasize. This course, however, is not a skill development course in terms of using how to, for instance, storyboard, articulate, or Adobe-related e-authoring applications. So that's not the point. Although it's an important part of the e-learning design and development process, but this course is not going to cover any of that in terms of the actual editing skill sets. If you are, however, admitted to the certificate program, then you will have access to all the tutorials by lynda.com. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's part of LinkedIn right now, but it's a wonderful tutorial repository for you as UVI students to develop specific sets of technical skills. As UVI student, you will have full and free access to all the tutorials hosted by lynda.com. So I've been telling the current cohort students that if you're interested in learning more about Adobe-related products or Articulate or any kind of e-authoring tools, feel free to visit the lynda.com and the related tutorial. So that's why I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those e-authoring related applications. What we are going to spend time on would be the principles of design and the theories that, in my opinion, teaching this course for a while and seeing all the practices in the professional context, those are good starting points for you to produce a quality deliverable, right? If you're using multimedia real applications, and I think that's another important aspect of the course. So the earlier comment mentioned that some existing projects that the course HRD 472 will cover. We will take a very collaborative approach for you to interact with your peers. As you can see from the list of the participants on this webinar alone, you will have people from all over the world, possibly from various professional backgrounds. And you can collaborate with them through the team projects. I'm waiting for the slide to be stable. Okay, here we go. So a couple major assignments. One is the Exploring Learning Technology assignment, and that assignment will enable students to play with existing learning technologies in terms of games, in terms of simulations, in terms of virtual reality application. Those are the things you probably are using on a daily basis, and we're going to look at them from the perspective of existing design tools and the design theories. And I think, again, based on current cohort students' feedback, a lot of students are finding those theories are still very, very much applicable to help us design good learning technologies and good e-learning applications. You'll find, oh, those theories are relevant, very much so, even with today's technological application around the world. So that's the EOT. The second major thing to do is the design case studies, and we're going to provide opportunities for you to implement certain design. Can you go back to the previous slide, please? Design models, in particular in the e-learning settings. Designing activities that are only for passive information processing, which is an essential part of the learning activities. Activities that only require students to gain hands-on experience, activities that allow students to transfer their learning from context to context. So again, all those activities will be packaged in the form of case studies. You're going to collaborate with your peers. You're going to devise practical solutions based on your current experiences, based on your prior experiences, and more importantly, based on the perspective you're going to develop as a result of taking HRD 411 and HRD 472. This information is widely available when it comes to instructor design and learning technologies on the internet. You can Google it. It's everywhere, right? It's not difficult to find. But what I think why this certificate is interesting and important for all of you is that these two courses will help you develop a unique perspective in your professional engagement. The information is everywhere, but unique and good perspectives are difficult to find. And again, in 472, we will help you create your own unique design perspective when it comes to technological applications to improve learning and performance based on good models, good theories, and most importantly, based on your own experience. I think that's one thing I like to see, and I'm helping current cohort students to do that. I think we are on the way to do that. So developing your own perspective. What's your niche when people talk about learning technologies? What perspective that makes you different when you are looking at learning or performance related problems, right? So that's I think that's important to point out. The third part of the course will be e-portfolio development, again, to showcase what you are able to do from the course activities. And again, going back to my earlier point, what your perspective might be when it comes to instructor design and learning technology. Next slide, please. So this is the sequence of the activities. The ELT is a weekly event. The design case studies will be, I think, week 3 and 5 and 7. So 3 times you will do that. It's accumulative. There is no final exam. I don't believe in that. But they are major milestones for you to achieve with your teammates. And finally, the e-portfolio development, that's your own asset. It's a rare opportunity for you to demonstrate what you can do, what your perspective might be. Next slide, please. Scenario 1, 2, 3, based on the earlier mention of the design activities. First one, only focusing on the textual-based type of information, reading about policies, reading about certain regulation. The scenario 2, we'll move on to the hands-on activities in terms of enabling students or learners to the e-learning to apply skills in order to get some feedback on the activity. Third one is about connecting your learning, or learners' learning, to the actual problem solving in realistic settings. So these are 3 scenarios that guide the development of the case study design. Next slide, please. I don't really have any information to add other than this is the space for you to show what you can do and your design thinking. That's a buzzword in recent years. How you conceptualize a problem, how you define a problem, how you approach the design problems, and how you plan for your design solutions. I think that's what the e-portfolio space will be able to help you show the world in terms of your learning technologies perspective. Next slide, please.